I'm Peter Haddock and I'm here with Darragh Cullen, the MD of Edge Innovate. Darragh, I've been seeing your products in action at shows. I've been talking to your team for some time now, and I was delighted to be able to come here, which is your office here in Northern Ireland, and see what is a much bigger facility than I actually expected. And I wanted to talk to you about Edge as a business. You're obviously the MD and one of the founders of Edge. Tell me where it grew up first, and then we'll talk about the huge facility we've got here and how it works.
It grew originally as a subcontract manufacturing company, and then when the recession came in 2008, really there wasn't any subcontract work available, so we thought that's just as good a time as any to start our own business and start our own brand, and that's when the Edge product line was born. Our hand was forced, so therefore we decided to start designing and selling our own products. So I suppose we're sort of masters of our own destiny. We want to grow, but we want to grow on a controlled, steady basis, so that we're not risking the financial security of the business. So that steady growth means that we have to perform in different areas across the business, and that leads us to a serious investment in R&D and the development of new products and getting those products delivered of high quality into our existing marketplace and hopefully new marketplaces.
This manufacturing facility you've got now has been extended quite dramatically in the recent few years. You go from the sheet steel coming in to cutting the key components. You then go through to those components being put together to then go and be baked and sprayed. Then they're put together with other suppliers' components, and we'll come on to that in a moment. Then they're tested inside here as well, and then they actually leave the door to everywhere in the world now. You're talking as far flung as New Zealand. I saw some products today for the Middle East that were going for a specialist, again, more specialist function that they're over there. And that is really testament to that whole chain of quality, isn't it, as you go through the process?
Well, it's important to us that we have control over the whole process. As you say, we're a family-owned business, so effectively it's our name that's on the machine. We're not a worldwide corporation where we have different satellite factories all across the world and things are shipped here and there to a final assembly line. We start the manufacturing process here on this site and we finish it here on this site. So as you say, right through from the lengths of steel section and flat plate that comes in to the machine being quality controlled and dispatched from this particular site. So that gives us a lot of flexibility. It allows us to develop products to suit exactly what a particular customer needs, and gives us a level of agility that a lot of the other manufacturers don't have, where if we have a machine coming through production and a customer needs one in a panic, we can maybe negotiate with the original customer and get that machine now to a different customer to help them get the sale. So it is a family fix-it sort of culture that we have here, where if there's a problem, we will look at that as a challenge and an opportunity, and all the people here are all engaged in the process of helping the customer sell equipment across the world. That's what the important thing is.
The other thing that strikes me as we walked around, I was showing you warehouse facilities as well, and the componentry there, and there's another component here, there's another component there, and those components were actually from locally sourced suppliers here. One's your next door neighbour, and again, it's not just supporting the jobs and the growth here, isn't it? It's supporting the skill sets and jobs in your local area, and it's a far more sustainable way of thinking, isn't it?
It is. I suppose we're in the era of globalization. We've never really been part of that whole initiative. Let's get the cheapest components we can. Quality is number one for us. All things being equal, where we can get that component sourced locally, that's what we will do, because a lot of these local suppliers are the same mindset as us. They're problem solvers. They've got a can-do attitude. If you ring them on a Saturday and you need something for a Monday morning, invariably you'd get it. not as easy to do that from China, to be fair. So we're in an industry that is low volume, high variety, and we're constantly developing products and solutions to fix our customers' challenges. And we're all part of that. It isn't just the people within Edge. There's a lot of people in the supply base here in Mid-Ulster and in County Tyrone in general.
As you go all over the globe as well, you also therefore have challenges when your machines obviously have to be looked after and maintained on a regular basis. So, you know, I've spoken to your colleagues before about the relationship you have globally with the Caterpillar engine brand, and also the local dealers being Finning that supply you locally to the factory here. But that relationship is really important, you know, to your customers as well, because they know that they can look at the Caterpillar global dealer network and they can look at data that's coming off your systems to make sure that those pieces of equipment are working hard. That's critical, isn't it?
Well, it is hugely important. Like none of these machines are going to work unless the engine or the power source in the machine is working. And even from a customer backup point of view, we look after everything, but we still look after the engine, but generally speaking, Caterpillar and the dealer looks after the engine. And that's why when we're going into a marketplace, we must go in with an engine that is globally recognised in terms of quality, that the brand is recognised, and there's a reputation there for not just backing up the product on a global basis, but local backup to that particular end customer knows that the Caterpillar dealer down the road, it might be Finning, it might be some other Caterpillar dealer, that they can effectively look after that particular engine from a service point of view, and as well as spare parts and anything that goes wrong with that engine, and if it's inside a warranty period, that that dealer can sort all that out too. So that's hugely important, and going into the marketplace with a Caterpillar branded product in our machine gives our product serious credibility. If we're going into any marketplace with an engine that isn't recognised, that brand name isn't recognised, we're simply just not going to sell that product. So we must go in with a globally recognised engine supplier, and Caterpillar is probably as big as you're going to get.
You're making products here now where basically they're going onto all different parts of the world, but also all different tiers of engines, like European tier, stage 5, and the things that will come later on. And so you need a sort of supply chain that can actually help you with the engineering that your guys are doing here next door to say, well, this is our next product. It's, you know, the power that we need is this, but actually now engines are getting smaller. You can actually do things that are different as well with your design of the equipment.
You have engines going out of there that maybe went out beforehand with the C6.6 engine that are now going out with the C4.4 engine, because the engine's much more efficient, allowing it to create more power, and that's good for us as a manufacturer, but it's brilliant for the end user. That means the machine's going to run much more efficiently. But as you say, it's important to have the right partner in terms of coming through, you know, tier 3, tier 4, stage 3, 3A, 4, all those numbers and terminology does fry my head. Thank God there's a really good engineering department here that looks after that, but it can get very complicated, even to the extent that when this was being kicked off, where everybody was tier 3. If you had machines in stock, somebody wanted that machine, you sold them that machine. Now you have to go, well, that engine can't go into that territory, so we can't actually sell that machine into, say, Australia or America or wherever that particular marketplace might be. But it's hugely important to have that strong relationship with Caterpillar, who really understand the legislation across the world in terms of what standard of engine can go into what marketplace, and even more so when that's going to change in the future. If we're bringing out a product, we need to be thinking now of what engines are going to be in that product in 2, 3, 4, 5 years time, and Caterpillar have that insight, and they work really closely with our guys in engineering so we can address all those challenges.
We've got challenges nowadays, you know, all to do with increased layers of uptime, and we've talked about the fuel efficiency, but this uptime piece is now critical for people, because your equipment, you're not going to have a spare, are you?
No,
lying
no,
around
no.
with some of your big equipment out there, and you've moved into the latest GPS telemetry solutions that can allow your engineers to see even the slightest trends of something, to know when that managed downtime can be there and stuff. That's become really important, isn't it, to customers now?
It has, yeah. Some markets aren't just as developed as others in terms of the demand for telematics, but in more developed markets, it's sometimes the first question to ask: is there telematics on your machine, and what standard of reports can I get back? And it's important that the customers aren't overwhelmed with all these statistics on an hourly basis. So it's a matter of developing our reporting system with Caterpillar, so that we're reporting back to the end user in summarized format, just the information that he needs, not a pile of. If you're giving him a pile of information, then the critical stuff gets lost, and then you're thinking, what's the point even in doing this?
Exactly.
So it's a matter of getting it summarized in a succinct form, so that the customer will be able to say, I have an issue coming here in 2 weeks' time, unless I fix this problem now. And we have an alert system set up that our customers will get those alerts in a timely fashion, so they can have more uptime from their products.
Yeah, and for me, when you're using telemetry, you used to see this data dump, is what you're calling it.
Yeah.
This data dumps in, but now we've got systems that can actually bring in the data and then give you real-time information. Useful information, decision-making information, like you spoke about there. And there was a big decision a few years ago from yourselves here, because I noticed there's some new bits to the whole factory setup here, manufacturing facility. Big investment has happened over the last few years here, that has really changed your capability here as well, hasn't it? Tell me about that.
Well, it's probably no secret that we're quite an ambitious company. We want to keep a steady growth trajectory, and we would be planning our growth for years in advance, and then you'd be looking to see what actually is going to stop us from growing, and trying to remove those barriers one by one to make the path of growth much more easy. And you will obviously look at your physical facilities and go, at what stage will we need to build another factory or build another assembly hall? So those sort of decisions are made probably a few years in advance that other people won't see. So we'll be looking at what products are we bringing to the market in conjunction with our customers? Therefore, what space do we need? And then we'll start to plan for that space and plan for that investment. But we're looking at how long it's going to take us now to double our turnover.
Right.
And when will we need to kick in the investment in the infrastructure of the company to hit that target? And to be fair, the investment that we've done so far, we don't need an awful lot more in terms of factory floor space to be able to double our turnover. Right. So it's about developing and bringing out the right products, growing our relationships with our customers, and getting into new markets. Those three things will allow us to achieve the revenue levels that we want to achieve, while we've already got the firm foundations in place in terms of the factory infrastructure.
And I think, you've not only got the firm foundations in place with the factory, you've got all of the facilities here. You're doing your own bit for the environment with your solar panels put on your new sections here. But what you have got, and what everybody wants, is a great family feel here. I've been welcomed by everybody today.
Did you get a cup of tea?
I got a cup of tea. I got everything that's required. But
you usually have to make your own tea right here.
Fair enough. But what it is it's a difference when you are a family business, and it's obvious with people working together, with people able to support me on my content gathering earlier today. Growing the business, but growing it in the right way, like you said, is critical to success. And it's been fantastic to come here and see you and the team. And I wish you all the best for the future.
Thank you.